gentlemen, welcome to it.
Good morning to the folks. What up to the youngins and bless up to the world.
And then Jay just put your info on blast like that.
It's what the people want to know, bro. My bad.
Nah, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to it. It is the morning shake with me, your host Xavier, and of course, my co-host. I always have this thing where I'm like supposed to say lovely co-host or beautiful co-host or handsome co-host.
Dope.
Yeah, nah, but we don't play it that way. And of course, my co-host Jay Parry.
Good morning to the folks. What up to the youngins? Bless up to the world. This is Jay Paris, and once again, it's always an honor and a privilege, bro.
Of course it is, bro. How was the weekend? He says, why are you laughing, bro?
I had a good weekend. I spent some time with friends and family. We were officially off on leave from the office and so forth on. So
you can catch that Christmas vibe.
And I love Christmas, bro. Christmas is like the best time of the year.
Fair.
The spirit in the air.
Are you one of those homies that watch those Christmas movies?
Of course.
Which one's your favorite? The Home Alone. Facts, bro. I watched the Home Alones as well.
And I got them from like 3-4 Christmases, before. So
yeah,
still
and so
there.
every time December comes, you're like, okay, Hard Drive, Home Alone,
although I do
Omnipass.
Facts. Although I also do like to watch The Karate Kid as well.
Okay.
As well as Three Ninjas.
It reminds you of your childhood.
Of course.
That reminds me of being at my granny's house, bro, because we used to watch Karate Kid at my granny's house. We used to watch all the Home Alones at my granny's. So with my father's mom, so every time it's holidays, we'd go to the Northwest. We'd spend like 2-3 weeks there and just vibe with the family. And so that's when I watch those old school movies, it's like, yeah.
Big fact. The only thing now, bro, when you grow old, it's like the roles are switched. Now you have to do stuff for the youngins, and I got a baby, bro. But that still brings about so much joy.
But it's a cool thing. My kid likes those movies, which is dope for me because now I'm watching it and my kid likes it. And so it's like, all right, okay, that's dope. At least we can vibe together now on these old school movies. But outside of that, bro, what's been happening as far as just the weekend? I know you've been doing church. You've been doing a bunch of stuff.
Church, football, running, keeping fit. I mean, I'm not just going to sit around all December holidays doing nothing.
Of course. Any plans for the December holidays, for Christmas?
Nah. What does Dr. Carl like to say? Romania.
I'm
going to Romania.
Yeah, you're going to Romania. And you're going to
Romania.
Which is weird because the guest we have on show today is not about remaining anywhere. But I guess during COVID they had to kind of remain here a little bit. But they are about moving. And I say they because usually we only have one guest. But today we done doubled it up.
Let's go.
And we got 2 guests on in studio today. And they not about remaining here at all. In fact, today's convo will be, it's a weird one. It's an interesting one. It's outside of my comfort zone, but it's something that I really enjoy. It's about aviation, flying, what happens in the air, what happens on the ground, what happens at the airport. And we've all flown before. I don't know. Have you ever flown somewhere before?
Years back, bro. Like when I was a kid, so
what?
I don't have a vivid memory.
Okay, cool. What'd you do? Cape Town?
Yeah.
Cape Town. Alright, okay, that's dope. So there was a time I was traveling often, bro. There's a time I was flying like once or twice a year. And I was doing America. I was doing that conference in America every year. And then of course my honeymoon, we were in Thailand. Just really trying to vibe out to different places. And so our guest today, I asked him, I was like, yo, we want to speak about, I want to know what happens while we sitting there with the aircon on full blast, but it's getting cold in the plane. What are you guys doing here? What exactly is going on? And so that's the kind of conversation we're having today. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, it's a little bit different today. They're not walking in. They are actually on set already. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, put your hands together, welcome our guest for today. And of course, on this side over here, what happened?
Nothing cool.
On this side over here, we got Otto Roberts. He's a pilot. He's going to be telling us a little bit about how long he's been flying, his interesting stuff coming up here. And then, of course, next to Jay Paris over there,
the lavish, the beautiful
Lorraine Stols. And so, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, I feel like we gotta get into this conversation. So, Otto, bro, I've been watching a lot of aviation videos on YouTube, and that's part of what kind of made me want to speak to you guys today. I've been watching a lot of aviation videos. There's this one guy that's a pilot that does YouTube videos that always describes the landings and the takeoffs, and sometimes he does this thing where he shows things that happen in movies, and to say if
versus
it's
real
yeah,
life.
if it's real,
Yeah.
if you can really do that with a plane, and if you can like snakes on a plane, and all these weird moves. But how can you really have like the 1,000 snakes on an airplane like that?
You can. It's highly unlikely though. We transport all kinds of animals depending on your operation for farmers, experimental reasons, pets, live animals that need to go somewhere to go and be slaughtered for meals and
Where do you
things.
put the pets though? Under the plane.
Well, in the baggage hold, yeah, you can put them in there because
Doesn't
the
it
plane
get
is
cold there?
the plane is pressurized, and in the bigger airliners you can control the temperatures so they'll breathe and they'll be warm and as comfortable as they can.
Did you ever have a situation where this lady comes with a pooch, and then you get the other side and the dog is stuffed?
No, I can't say I've had that.
But the airline could get into trouble for something like that.
No, you'll definitely get into trouble. Transporting cargo, there's so many screening and vetting processes that are in place for safety and security and also for the health of the animals. So you ensure that they arrive alive.
100%. But don't drink and drive, arrive alive. So there was our campaign out here December
Is
time.
that pets on a plane?
Pets on a plane, yes,
Yeah.
bro. People travel with their pets.
The company I'm actually working for, there's so many dogs and cats and birds that actually travel with us because people want to fly with their pets to wherever.
What's the biggest animal that has been transported?
People have transported horses. I know SAA Cargo used to do horses for horse racing and stuff. And in very special circumstances, I think they've relocated like giraffes and elephants, lions,
Gee, was
cocaine parks.
Before-
Well, not SAA, but guys have done it by air.
before we get too deep into it, I want to ask Otto, how long have you been flying now?
Training started 2005, so that was a year and a half. And then 08 to 2016, another 8 years. And now another year. So what's that? 10 years collectively.
Collectively 10 years, including your training
Yeah,
and all that flight
including
hours.
training.
And so I know it's a big deal after you reach a certain amount of flight hours. You celebrate certain milestones or landmarks. What are those? Is it like that? I'm just
It
guessing.
is like that, actually. So when you start your training, you're a student pilot. So you've got an SPL, student pilot license. That's just based on you passing a medical test, right? And whatever aptitude test your flight school or your sponsor will give you. So then you are considered capable to learn to fly. So once you've done that, you start training on a light aircraft, and your first milestone is your first solo. That should happen between 10 to 15 hours of flying training.
So you fly by yourself without somebody.
Yeah, so your instructor will fly with you on the day, and then he'll be happy to release you to do a solo circuit. That's a takeoff and landing. And once you've done that, then when you've landed and you've shut down the aeroplane, your friends or whoever will come and carry you and throw you in the pool, or they'll come and hose you down.
Oh, so it's like a celebration that happens
Yeah, and they'll cut off your tie typically and give it to you as your...
as a thing. I want to ask before I go over to Lorraine, because I got some interesting questions that I want to get into, especially on the side of Lorraine, because so like I said in the beginning of the show, there was a time I used to travel twice a year, right?
Yeah.
And my last travel was my big memorable ones is we did Thailand on our honeymoon. That obviously it's a big one for me. It's the day after got married. And then we did last year. I did Australia before lockdown and before COVID, before all the craziness happened. We did Australia, and I sit in the plane, right? And it's boring to me. And I remember the first time I started flying, I was like excited. I'm flying. I'm going somewhere. Yo, I'm happy. And then after the third time, I'm like, yo, when are we getting there? Like now that how the process is becoming like annoying, it's becoming boring. But then I sit in that plane. And certain things happen, and the cabin crew passes, and so I don't like, Lorraine, to sit on the edge, because you guys walk past with those trolleys and knock my knees and do a bunch of crazy stuff, and so I don't like sitting there. So I'd like to sit against the window, because I put a pillow there in the window, and then I use it as a bed, because I don't fly first class. Not yet, guys. I'm getting there. Sorry, but at some point it will get there. So I put this big pillow on the window there, on the little thingy, and then I lay against it, and that's my definition of my first class flight. And so when I'm sitting there, I see weird things. and I see interesting things. And then I sit there, just my brain goes all over the place. And those are the questions I want to ask you guys today. Like, weird things that happen, like different things people do, different types of like people that get onto planes, like interesting people. Now I want to ask Lorraine, what was, do you remember any situation where somebody like got onto a plane? What was like the weirdest thing? Like someone brought something weird onto the plane that you had to say, sorry ma'am, sorry sir. But I'm sure that is sorted out on the ground already. But what was like the weirdest thing that you've had to deal with on a plane? Someone doing something freaky on the plane, someone getting busy in the bathrooms. I don't know. What is the craziest thing you've ever had to, situation that you had to calm down on?
Honestly, I must say our EXA people are on the ball. There's really not weird things that came on board that is like, sorry, didn't you know that this thing is not supposed to be on board? But we do have this thing that we do that's called dangerous goods. So these dangerous goods are more for safety related issues. So if there's things like batteries that's not supposed to be in your bag, if we ask you questions, say for instance, you have too many bags, and we need to put your bags in the cargo hold, we have security questions that we need to ask you, like the batteries, spare batteries do you have? If you have, is it in your bag? If you say yes, it's not supposed to be in your bag. You must take it out because of leakage, right? Oral?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
depends on the battery spec. So
So what is the whole thing with batteries? And what's the whole thing with phones, guys? Why must we switch your phone off before we fly?
dangerous goods are anything that can cause harm or damage to the aeroplane or to the people on the aeroplane, if on its own or if it's mixed with another substance. So batteries could leak, like if it's a lead acid battery. If it's a NiCad battery, what your laptop or your phone has, those batteries have been known to overheat and explode and burst into flame, and you can't actually extinguish that fire. So that's a big, big hazard for aeroplanes. And then the phones, your cell phone signal, it could interfere with some of the instruments we use to actually navigate for landing and takeoff and for navigation throughout the journey.
So that's the reason you must switch the phone off when they say please switch off your phone or put it on flight mode.
Because the instruments we use are radio frequency instruments. So we'll tune into a frequency to track to wherever, and that will help us to say at a certain altitude and on a certain glide path and so forth. And the chances are that your cell phone signal could interfere with that, and that puts everyone at risk. And
And so you don't want that. Lorraine, how long have you been an air hostess?
I know I said 14 years to you. Actually, you know when you stay 14 forever, that's me. So it's been 16 years.
She was.
Yeah, it's been good though. It's been good.
So how many airlines have you flown? You obviously flown for the national carrier.
Just SAA, I'm loyal.
You're loyal to the brand.
cheesy from the beginning.
Loyal to the brand.
I'm so loyal.
You've flown SAA before, right?
I've flown for SA Express, SAA. I'm now flying for Sim Air. Yeah.
Have you flown any private like people who own their own private planes in and around
No,
South Africa?
but I would like to. Yeah, yeah. Those are the people to actually fly for if you consider
The
the
kind of
remuneration.
The remuneration that comes with it is nice. So I want to find Jay, bro. You must jump in on you because I know your mind's racing through all these questions.
What's the dopest place you've been to though?
I wanted to
My
ask you.
favorite place though is New York and London. Yes, those two are my favorite destinations. London feels like home. For some reason,
Yeah.
London feels like
There's
South
a lot of
Africa.
South Africans there.
No, just the atmosphere.
Isn't it cold there, though?
Hey?
Isn't it cold there though?
Cold.
Only in winter.
It's not that bad. The coldest place I've been to though is Beijing. Were you there in
Beijing?
winter?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. That place is terrible.
But when you'll actually get to these places, I've heard a lot of things that, you know, where you don't actually have the time to hang out or anything like that because that's a lie.
It depends on whether your layover is 24 hours or whether it's 2 days or however long.
And
But
the
there's
company
always time for
books you
something,
into
man.
hotels and everything. Everything
Yeah.
is sorted.
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah.
So for me, Oral, what's plane wise? What's the biggest plane that you've flown?
Airbus A340.
Airbus A340.
Yeah.
And then you were co-piloting on it, or you were what was the setup like?
Yeah, in-flight relief co-pilot basically.
That's dope. And then as far as flying to these different destinations, you said you enjoy New York. You were shaking your head yes to New York as well.
No, I actually didn't enjoy New York for for the fact that it's such a vast city. It's always on the go. There's always, like any time of the day.
There's movement.
It never sleeps, and it's just too much for me. Like, if you really want to enjoy New York, you must go there for at least 2 weeks, and you must have a plan that this is where I'm going to go for this day, this is where I'm going to go the next day, and you mustn't do too much in one day because then it just diminishes the experience
It
as
just
well. But
overloads.
yeah, my favorite destination, definitely London and Hong Kong.
Oh, yeah?
And Perth was nice in the summer.
I don't like
I enjoyed the beach,
And
and I
then-
knew people there.
You knew people there. But, and then as a pilot or even as an air hostess, when you get onto the plane, you do your pre-flight checks, you do all your stuff, and you get. I think we spoke on the phone leading up to this conversation. You were telling me that you take your lead from what the pilot says. Obviously, the pilot will tell you guys, okay, this, and the other, or whatever the case might be, especially in case of an emergency or in case of something changing or whatever. You guys take your lead from the pilot, right? So for me, the question I'm asking is that when you guys travel, when you move places, obviously like Jay asked, the company obviously will set you guys up in hotels. When you guys are alone, are there any like weird and wonderful things that happen as far as like the cabin crew? Like I was telling Lorraine on the phone, I'm going to ask you some stuff. Like, do they get like the pilot gets like involved with one of the cabin crew members, or you don't have to say it was you. Just say, hey, I remember this one day.
I think you'll actually have a big advantage because you can choose from anyone around the world
Choose one.
to catch vibes with.
Do you remember any situation, bro, where
Don't
like,
look at me with those holy eyes.
to catch vibes? Have you had situations where the cabin crew, the pilots vibe, or cabin crew kind of like dating each other?
Yeah, I mean, people are people. That's what people
But I'm
do.
supposed to keep it like, professional, like we're not supposed to be.
He wants some tea.
I want some tea, man. Spill some tea. You
You
quiet,
want
you
some
like just
tea?
like. He says people
He
are.
can't reveal too much. He's married. So I'm not married, so I can say something.
Look at his
No.
face. He's like
No, honestly, the dangers are there to take opportunity of anything when you fly internationally. It's more about discipline and respecting yourself. You can fall for anything and anybody and just say, you know what? Other people say, oh, we married in South Africa, not in London or New York, so I'm single. But honestly, it's a personal choice. And but one thing I can say, the debriefings are very nice for the cabin crew. We don't mix much with the pilots. I don't know why.
the pilots keep them quiet here because
Like,
they just want to
yes,
sit in the
right.
cockpit.
Errol, tell me, why do you guys move in threes all the time? Like, all
Well-
three of you, I mean, if something happens, we have no pilots.
That's a good question and it's a good statement. However, dealing with the segregation is a strong word, but for lack of a better word, for the clickiness, let's put it the clickiness. And to put this diplomatically,
Just go for it,
most
bro.
of the guys I've flown with, older guys, younger guys, whatever, being a pilot, obviously people see the uniform and they have this image. And even the guys will have this status thing about them. So for some of them, it's beneath them to move with the cabin crew. For me, I enjoyed it because, I mean, you're out of uniform in a strange country. You want to mingle with people that are from a similar context as yourself, background, and enjoy and experience the place. So in a place like New York or London, wherever you go, we'd always discuss amongst the flight deck, like, what are we going to do when we get there? We know this place to go and eat, or there's like a jazz bar, shopping happens here and there, and there's a Christmas market, or whatever, So you make plans. And sometimes you didn't make plans, because you flew with a guy that's maybe a bit weird or whatever. But I think the clickiness stems mostly from the fact that some of the guys take themselves too seriously, if I can be honest about that. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
And I've had nice times, hanging out with cabin crew and pilots alike. Because if you remember, we used to stop in Dakar on the way to New York.
I remember I flew a flight like that before. I
Yeah,
stopped in
so
Dakar.
you guys carry on, but the crew gets off and a new crew gets on. So we stay the
I've
night.
seen that. And they
then
spray the
next,
cabin. They do a
yeah,
bunch
the next day we stay in the hotel there. But at the hotel, on the way back from Washington, it's the same thing, or New York. Then we buy steaks in the US, and we know we're going to get off. Then we have a braai there, and like
Serious?
everybody's there. Yeah, portable speaker, Mendoza, whatever, just vibing. And the Emirates crew and Qatar crew, whoever there, they would be so jealous of us because now we're vibing like that, you know.
I think Dhaka was very special.
Yeah.
That's one of the places that we were all together.
When the SAA used to stop at that, they don't do it anymore, no?
No.
So they do direct flights now. They go straight to Washington.
Yeah, it's a seasonal thing because of the winds. I can't remember if it was summer or winter,
Me too.
but
I need a
for half
refresher.
the year you would stop there, and the
You
other
guys have
half
been
you'd go
off
direct.
over.
Yeah, because when we do stop now via Accra to Washington, we
You
go
always-
via Accra, not Dhaka anymore.
So, man, I had a question.
Who's the nicest people in the world though?
Country-wise.
And who's the worst?
People from India are the worst,
Really?
passenger-wise, yes. It's sorry if I offend anyone, but it's,
Say that in the mic. People
it's
from
my
who?
experience.
Now, just okay. Let's say your personal experience with
The
certain
most
countries.
difficult people to work with, I think it's really about the culture. It's the Indian people, and in Africa, Nigeria. Oh my goodness.
Why though? What experience did you have?
I
Just in
know.
general.
I reserve my comments. I plead the fifth.
Plead the fifth.
They're just a very special breed, and I think here in South Africa we have a lot of different cultures, but there's one thing in common whereby you respect the
Yeah.
human being. So I think maybe in India there's you rich or you poor.
Yeah, it's a lot
so
of
as
class.
servants,
Is it?
you serve, but they forget you're not their servant, you're not their maid, you are a host.
So now
there's
later
a
they
difference.
start treating you
so
like.
now they're treating you like a servant, and it's kind of the same mentality in Nigeria, whereby they do that. For some reason, they kind of change their ways because they used to do this. Oh, like,
And that's
In Nigeria.
disrespectful, no?
yes, that's very disrespectful. So the culture
It's
is a
condescending,
problem.
like
It's very
this condescending behavior, like.
Have you ever been in that situation where it's like, yo, if I take off this jacket now, I'm
I'm gonna beat you up.
No, this job.
You train to.
You have to get to a point whereby you remain professional.
You don't take things
And
personal.
you should not take it personal until somebody literally grabs you. That's personal, but they haven't grabbed us, so it's okay. So you need to stay professional and serve them the best that you can. And that's just it.
Yes, I was close to being grabbed one day.
What happened, bro?
So we did a flight to Richards Bay and we couldn't land because of bad weather, and we diverted to Durban. But it was the last flight of the day and we were running out of duty because it's a fatigue issue for legality. So that if we had to fly anymore, it would have been an insurance issue. If something happens, we would have been guilty. Insurance wouldn't have paid out if there was an incident. So we diverted to Durban, and there was no ground support there because that wasn't our final destination. And we couldn't fly anymore, so we had to stay in Durban the night, and the passengers had to make their way. But now we were waiting on the aeroplane for the bus to come, and then the drinks and things ran out, and the passengers were getting edgy. It was raining all night, and so they now. I was the only guy on the flight, actually, mind you. The lady was the captain was a lady, and there were two cabin crew ladies at the back. So now the passengers were getting restless and angry and whatnot. And the one girl ran up to the front there. She said, "No, the passengers want to ride. They want to get off the plane." So I got up to go and close the door. But before I could get there, this old man and his wife, they were first in line. And he came up to me red in the face, and he's angry, man. He's like, "Yeah, I do occupational health and safety. You can't treat us like this." And wah, 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 wah. And he starts shoving me in my chest like this with his hand. So I was like, "Okay, fine, you gotta get off. It's your funeral, you know. It's dark there on the apron where the aeroplanes stand. There's aeroplanes moving. People aren't supposed to be there without a reflector jacket at least." Him and his wife got off, and I told the others, "I'm calling the cops now if you guys don't sit down." And I was waiting for a punch or something to come. Fortunately, they sat down. Because next
So
time,
that guy and his wife, they got off.
they got off.
Was the
and they-
stairs there already?
No, it's a STA door. It was a small aeroplane. So they were running around there, and you know, it could have gotten physical and ugly. To which I just had to like
You just have to retain yourself. Have you ever had a situation where you were on a flight off duty,
Yeah.
but you were flying the airline that you would have been the pilot on? And then what kind of then this is interesting. Like let's say you're going somewhere with your wife, and normally the cabin crew that you would be the pilot of, do they treat you? Do they know that you were a pilot? Do they know that you've been captain on that plane before?
When I went to Mauritius for my honeymoon, I was with my wife. So I had my Springbok jersey on, I had my aviators and my cap on. And the lady that was helping us there in the front in first class, she kept on looking at me and she's like, do I know you from somewhere? Are you a celebrity? So I just played the game a little bit. I was like, no. And eventually I told her, no, man, I work for the airline. You know, so some people, they recognize you, but what I've seen in the airport is like some of the guys I fly with, the pilots, you know, they know you when you're in uniform, but when you're in plain clothes, they don't know you.
Yeah, we don't.
So it's
also know
weird.
you.
It's a weird thing.
So no, but are you saying they don't know you sarcastically?
No, they
No,
literally
like
don't know
literally
you.
they don't know you out.
They don't
out of
recognize you
uniform.
outside of
Yes.
uniform.
Yeah, some of them, like if you know the guy, you'll know.
Yeah,
you.
well, he'll know it's you. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I know guys I fly with, and I know them in or out of uniform, so I don't know what the switch is in the mind.
I think the
They
people identify the uniform first before you as a person. That's how it works.
But do you find that the uniform brings a degree of respect? Like when people see you in uniform, they're
Yes.
like,
Oh yeah,
it's a
for
pilot."
sure,
yes.
for sure.
Oh yes.
And you cabin crew, I always see you walking there like models with the high heels. And
I call it nale walk. You have to walk a certain way, posture up, and you're like,
you're tired, but you just have to.
pull this heavy bag. Yes, it's very nice.
Why are you saying that?
Chase doesn't want to talk to us.
So guys, thank you so much. So listen, what we're gonna do before we move over to the next part of today's interview is we're gonna play a game, right? It's called the Whisper Challenge, and we played it on the show before. We're gonna play a game, and I feel like what's gonna happen is Jay and Lorraine are on a team, right? And so producer, what's their name? Their team's name? LJ, right? So it's Lorraine and Jay. Then, of course, Oral and I are on the team, so that's Oz. Right? Okay, cool. So, we're going to play this game. So, Oral, we got to get some points here. So, you got to put on these headphones. I'm going to read. If you don't know how this game works, I'm going to read a phrase to you. I'm going to whisper it into the mic. He must try and guess what I'm saying. And that's how this is going to go. So, is the music playing? Okay. I don't want to get copyright struck, so I'm going to play a different version of that song because I feel like they're going to copyright strike me. Alright, okay, cool.
The club version.
What?
They're on the same team, Lisa. You got to check if that volume is actually on full blast.
You know, you can play, they won't hear it because it's not connected to the sound system. So you can play that version.
Now I'm playing it. Can you hear the music? The music.
Is it loud
Okay.
enough?
Yeah, bro, it's like I can hear it in the mic. In the thing. Can you hear? Okay. Watch. A zebra licked a DVD. A zebra.
Camera.
A zebra licked a DVD.
TV.
A zebra.
Surprise.
Zebra.
Let's show them how it's done.
You take it off. We lost that round. It was a zebra.
No, but you need to form your
Camera
words,
and
right?
zebra is similar.
Don't worry, I got this.
Jay, yeah, bro.
Let me come this side. Let me come this side.
Moments.
Yeah, come. But Jay, how are you gonna read the thing? Okay. Who's gonna read it?
I'm gonna read.
Okay.
I'll stand aside, you can go.
Okay, is that thing far enough?
Yeah, it's cool.
Alright, bless up. Bless up.
Yeah, bro. Start the track again.
Yeah.
Alright, okay. Did I note?
Alright, let's make it 1-0.
Shay, don't you want to turn the laptop a bit?
Turn it.
No,
Yeah.
towards you.
Oh, towards me. Alright.
She can't see it, bro. She can see it.
Bro, there's a bunch of stuff. Yeah, she won't get a trust. Now she will actually.
Okay, go.
Um,
The music on.
Yeah, it's on.
yeah, it's
actually,
on.
right.
It's on. Where's this? Banana suicide. Banana.
Biryani.
No. Banana.
Don't say it so loud.
Oh, I can't. Banana suicide. It's like the easiest one. All these other stuff are banana.
Jason.
Say something.
Banana.
Suicide.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. That's the second one. But now the first word is banana. Banana.
Say something.
sounds like banana.
Yeah, now put it together. Put it together. Put it together.
Suicide banana.
Reverse it. That should be.
Yeah, she got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay, banana suicide.
It's out there now.
It's our turn.
You must form your words properly.
Oh, is it? Must you read that one for me now? Okay.
I gave you the easiest one.
Alright, let's go.
Maar jullie keer moet zijn goed toch?
How do you
Nah, there's so
scroll
many
down?
words. So many stuff. I even forgot.
That track is dope.
Sure. Okay.
Just take into your mic. Sorry.
Go, bruh.
Yo,
He's choosing the easiest one.
I'm looking for an easy one here.
nah.
Okay. Daily.
History.
Yo, history. How many strikes, Lee?
Give us 5 chances.
Nah.
Daily loot.
Loser.
Almost. Daily loot.
Let's go.
Easy Lucy. You look like Easy Lucy.
Easy, what is that? Easy Lucy.
What was it?
Daily loot.
What the heck? I was never gonna get that. I must give more chances to make mistakes because it's funny. But you must try, bro.
wanna
You
come
mustn't
this
just.
side?
Oh, my side. Oh.
Jay, you must try. You mustn't just wait for the right answer. Just try, bro.
Nah,
It's
I'm gonna
fine.
try. Definitely.
Alright, yeah. Go.
So from these,
Anyone choose one that we didn't do yet. Must tell the people in the mic.
Let's go.
okay.
Don't cheat.
They gotta hear what I'm saying as well.
Yeah, I say now.
Are you ready?
Well, go again. Hi.
I.
Don't.
He said I. That's one.
So don't scream it at him. You must stay soft.
Oh. I feel
I feel.
a
A.
little,
Say again. A.
little,
Liesel.
no. Little.
Lizard.
I feel a little.
Okay, guys, we've got one more round. This round counts for 2 points.
Okay.
But then give us more
But
chances
we
to
won
make
up.
mistakes.
Don't look at the words.
We
Don't look at the words.
words.
Who must go?
Five.
You must speak. You must speak in.
It's your turn, Xavier.
Yeah.
Hey, you must form your words
was that?
properly, my man.
Okay, watch my mouth.
Mad. We didn't get to mad.
Move your jaw and your lips. Exaggerate how you speak.
Just talk like I feel a little.
Hey.
You can say that.
I.
I'll.
I can.
Again.
I can drive.
Against the life.
Yeah.
No. I can drive. I can drive.
And the pilot.
I can drive.
I can.
Drive. Drive. Drive.
Drive.
Yeah. Wait.
Wait.
I can drive to all
I can drive
to all
to all
the malls.
the borders.
The malls.
The malls.
Yes, we got it. We got it. Look at one more round. One more round for Jay. Yo, we got it on, bro. I'm happy.
Well done.
Oh my goodness.
So that's double points.
Yes, you guys have.
That's what
Yeah.
No, you must
Nah, me, bro.
No pressure.
no pressure.
No pressure
Okay.
to perform.
Let me set out some rules first. If I do this, you switch the words.
It's not charades.
If I do this, you say the words that you said together.
Oh, okay.
Let's go for it. Sure.
What was your one just now?
The one before.
Eat.
I can't remember.
Don't show actions.
Yeah, because I could have done this.
No, I didn't show actions.
You did. You said eat.
No, I'm saying get it right. Eat
Eat
your
your
feet.
eat your what?
Feet.
I could hear you, your feet.
She could hear.
Okay, let's
We're
go again.
cheating now.
Okay.
But don't say it so loud, Jay. Say it. Whisper it. It's called the whisper challenge.
You must.
This is not the shout challenge.
Okay. Save
Safe
water.
water.
Drink.
Safe water
Drink.
to drink.
No. Save water. Drink.
Clean.
Drink. You said it. Drink beer.
My
Save water. Drink beer.
safe water.
Drink.
Stopped.
Wait, the music stopped.
Damn, that's whack.
Yeah.
You know the thing already.
Safe water.
Drink beer.
Drink
Beer.
beer.
That's it. 3-2. 3-2. 3-2.
Okay.
3-2. LJ, let's get
Alright,
it.
okay, so who wins? They win.
Yes, of course.
Alright, okay.
The score for Liverpool.
Let's go. I prophesied that. Not 2 though. 3-0.
Alright, okay. Alright guys, so thank you so much for joining that game with us. That was a funny game. I wish our producer could give us a little bit more chances to make mistakes, because I feel like the mistakes are the funny part.
It is.
The mistakes are the funny parts, and that's entertaining. So Odell, as far as flying COVID wise, did it slow? It obviously slowed down. A lot of people couldn't do a bunch of stuff. How did that affect the whole situation?
Well, borders were closed for everyone, everywhere for a while. So there were no passengers flying in and out. I remember doing 1 or 2 cargo flights to Mozambique for a client with personal protection, PPE, personal protection equipment, and it was really slow. Our company had contracts outside of South Africa for other airlines, so some of our guys went to fly for them for a while. But other than that, it was really slow across the board. I mean, there was times when I was flying 1 flight a month.
Gee whiz. And usually what would that schedule look like?
At least 4 flights a week, 4 days of duty per week. So 16 flights per month at least.
And then how does this thing work where you have to be on standby?
Terrible.
I heard people complaining about that standby situation.
You wanna speak about that? But
Sure. Standby, I think that is my con when it comes to being a flight attendant, because standby for me, it felt like you are in prison for some reason. You like living on somebody else's time, but in your own space. Before they changed it to an hour, they used to give you 30 minutes. I don't know about you guys, 30 minutes to get to the airport. And not all of us can stay in Kempton Park. You know, we stay far. So obviously
And then
now,
there's traffic sometimes, and if there's an accident, then what must you know?
listen, where I stay, 30 minutes, I'm already late. I mustn't think of doing standby at home. I have to do it at work. So that for me was not
But
nice.
then how does the standby thing work? Is it like a matter of, do they tell you that, okay, this week you're going to be on standby? Or is it just a permanent thing that you're always on standby?
No, it's not a permanent thing. So when your roster comes out, it's scheduled. So it's a month prior. It became 2 months prior now. So on your roster, you'll have open days. And then the open days will become off days or AVS. AVS standby, and then closest to the time, they'll put you on a short range, which is in the morning, or in the afternoon, long range, or both, short and long.
So
I
what's
think
short and long? It's like local
short
trips?
and long
or-
is terrible because now you have to pack for long. And then you go
and then
to
you
Durban.
go to Durban, an hour flight.
You know, so it's messed up. I think standby is not.
So you
cool.
must always have your bag in your car.
Yes, there's spaces created there at work for you to actually put your bag.
Like a room. Why don't they set up like a room for
There's
people?
a room. It's a
Yes,
room. Well,
if
let's say
it's a
room.
decent airline, they will have a crew room, they'll have a rest area where you can hang out and whatnot.
And
Yeah.
then as far as the standby situation, how is that for you? Same thing, right?
Yeah, so you're rostered for standby, and standby is purely if, let's say, I'm on duty today and for some reason I can't make it to work. My dog died or my granny died or I get sick. I just can't be at work today. Then they have to call out the standby to do the flight.
And then the standby must just be ready.
Yeah.
Must
Come
be
hello, I water. Even if you wherever you
Yeah,
must.
so for me on a standby day, I would wake up, I would shave, make sure my uniform is ready, so that if they do call, it would take me 10 minutes to get in my car, my bag is packed, and then I can just go.
And then you go.
Yep,
Yeah.
just like that.
That's dope. Jay, bro.
Have you ever been in a position where you'll actually feared for your lives?
Yes.
Like, yo, this is
That's
going
a-
south.
That's a dope question.
This-
Take us through. I'm gonna ask Oro to take us through it, and then you take us, Lorraine, take us through a situation where it was like, yo,
In the
I,
cabin.
the thing is gonna.
Yeah, so for us, the worst thing that you can have is an aeroplane on fire in the air. While you're flying, there's a fire on board. That's the worst thing.
And that happened?
No, not with me, because then it deals with smoke. You know, people pass out from smoke inhalation, and also the aeroplane is physically burning. You're gonna crash if you don't land before it reaches the critical point. You know, where things start falling off the aeroplane. But anyway, for me, it was an engine failure just at takeoff, which is also one of the most critical things.
Don't stall.
No. Well, it could lead to a stall. A stall just means that your wings aren't
Getting enough air.
getting enough lift, basically. So we had an engine failure at takeoff, and I didn't know. You know, a funny thing is the night before I was tossing and turning, and I couldn't sleep, and I was like, "What is wrong?" Yeah, I just couldn't fall asleep.
You were restless, like.
Yeah, like really seriously, I felt something was wrong. I couldn't explain it. And the next morning we had this engine failure. And just as we rotated for liftoff, the engine failed. It was my first time flying with the captain that morning. Aeroplane was almost full. The temperature was really high. We forgot to retract the gear on takeoff, which is very critical for aerodynamics after takeoff. And it's things we train for. You know, that's what we actually get paid for, is to handle those emergencies. We don't get paid to fly. I'll
fly.
fly for free. You know, we get paid to handle the emergencies. And we shouldn't have survived that morning.
Gee,
We should
but
not.
then what ended up happening? You ended up landing.
Yeah, we took off safely in spite of leaving the undercarriage out. And we landed back again on one engine.
But on the same airport.
Yeah, on the same
You had to
airport,
make
out of
a turn.
Joburg. We just flew around and we landed
And
again.
landed again. And then how does that weight thing work? Do you have like an indicator on your in your cabin, in your cockpit, to show that who's sitting where, the weight distribution?
Weight and balance, we do that before takeoff. So if you think of a seesaw balances if two guys are the same weight. So an aeroplane is kind of like a seesaw because your lift acts on the wings to lift up the aeroplane. So the aeroplane can rotate around the wings, basically. So that's why you need to do weight and balance so that you don't have it too heavy in
So are
front
people
or at the back.
strategically seated in that way, or how does that work?
Yeah, on a full flight, it doesn't really matter.
Because then there's the even weight
even weight
distribution.
distribution for passengers. It becomes critical when you've got heavy items of cargo, for instance, because cargo will be at the back in the hold on my aeroplane, which I'm flying, or in the middle, like on a big airliner, or far forward. So you need to, the load master will typically deal with that. But the pilots are trained to distribute the weight evenly, basically.
What is your scary moment, Lorraine?
We were flying into Abu Dhabi, I think on descent or just before descent. We don't know what's going on, and then with the pilots, I'm not too sure on your screens and stuff what shows, especially when something is immediate, like air pockets or whatever. I don't know what happened that day, but I flew very high up in the cabin,
turbulence.
and I fell klopart. And I think I was scared of turbulence for a good couple of months after that, because it's something that could have hurt me badly, and I did not expect it. And there's a lot of times where cabin crew, the Hong Kong one, people got hurt. Turbulence for us as cabin crew is obviously, for us, the things that we experience mostly, but he's completely correct. Fire is our enemy.
But you've never seen a fire on a plane before?
We haven't seen fire. I haven't seen fire, but people take chances to smoke. And that is a very, very, very dangerous thing to do on board the aircraft.
So people take their chances. They go to the toilet
They
or what?
do, and they actually close the smoke detector. Can you believe it? Like, you cannot just, you will only not kill yourself, but you will kill everybody else.
Crash the whole plane.
Yeah.
But
So
isn't that a criminal offense
it
then?
is a criminal offense, but unfortunately, if we don't find you with the actual cigarette and you smell of it, there's nothing we can do about it.
Yo.
Yeah.
But then if you cause some sort of trouble to cause that thing to crash, then what now?
We can give you a warning, and that's it.
And then what happens what happens with that warning? Do you not get to fly for the next 3 rounds or what? How does that
No,
work?
you do. You do get to fly, because we didn't take it all the way to the police station. But that whole process of the police station is also a very long and tedious.
Yeah, the admin becomes much.
And
Yeah.
then you end up just leaving it.
And it becomes your problem as a cabin crew and not the passenger.
If you don't actually have evidence that the person did whatever, you can't
Then you kind of
file
chase him
charges,
ghost, yeah.
Yeah. But you can literally just be very, very, very strict with that person and look out for them the entire flight, and that's terrible.
What speed do you take off on a runway? Around 300 kilometers, 250, what?
Yes, in an Airbus,
Oh, does depend on the size of the plane.
it depends on the size of the plane, on the weight of the plane, but a jet aeroplane typically at about 250 kilometers per
Hey, so I
hour.
was right there with my guess. Estimation. No, because you know why? That's one of my favorite parts in the plane, when you're sitting there and you feel that thrust, like,
Yeah.
you get that lift. So I could imagine, in just my mind, it just feels like about 250, 300 Ks now.
Yeah.
And then cruising altitude goes to about 800, 700 what?
Yeah, between 800 and 1,000 kilometers per hour in a jet.
Sheesh. And then propeller planes?
In cruise, anywhere between 270 and maybe 450 kilometers per hour.
That's
Maybe
not bad.
500
That's fast,
depending-
actually.
depending on
Have
the
you ever
plane.
flown a Gulfstream plane?
No, but I would like to.
Because they look fancy, they look quite cool.
Yeah, those are nice machines. Those are nice machines.
And outside of the Airbus, what smaller plane wise, what's a nice plane?
Okay, so how do you mean nice?
Like the nicest one you've flown, or do you just fly the normal propellers?
When we speak of nice aeroplanes, we speak of aeroplanes that are nice to handle and have
Yeah.
nice equipment and
Yeah.
stuff. So I've been inside a PC-12. It's a single-engine turboprop aeroplane. That's what the Red Cross uses. It's a very nice aeroplane. It performs well, and you can do amazing things. It's very versatile.
That's dope. Alright, Jay, any closing remarks?
Nah, I think we're good. I think we probably should have asked this in the beginning, but what actually stirred up the passion to get into this industry? I mean, for you to walk down the aisle and just hand people food.
Thank you for actually.
Yes, because people say it's a glorified
Or
waitress.
is it like the perks of the different countries and so forth on?
You know what? It's a good question, because people really think it's just about me giving you food. But get sick and see who's going to help you. let's have an emergency landing and see who's going to help you.
I ain't got beef or anything like that.
Not you.
You're looking at
No, not you personally. We are actually so trained, guys. We are really trained on firefighting, on life saving.
aid.
Guys, it's so deep when it comes to being a flight attendant. It's not your normal waitressing job at Spur or whatever else. We are actually really, really good. First of all, we are safety officers. The service is complimentary. We're not just there for that. But watch us work. But you'll never see it with a lot of airlines because safety is our main priority. So that's why flying is the most safest mode of
No, but
travel.
that's interesting. Jay asked that question because people
Yeah.
do say it's like a glorified waitress and blah blah blah. But then now you're saying no, there's a lot more going on.
There's a
like,
lot more.
You need to know how to do life, like what, say, helping someone
can
resuscitate
actually
people.
First aid, yeah.
First aid
Deliver babies.
Yeah.
on the plane.
Yeah, babies have been delivered on the plane by crew. So there's a lot of stuff, guys. And can we please just respect each other's
Yeah.
careers?
And
that's just it.
I've seen a childbirth video for AvMed training. It's not
As a pup and
it's not a nice
It's not.
thing.
It's not a. It's not
You
an
know.
easy thing.
Stage
If I
one,
must ever
stage
be
two.
on a flight and they come tell me someone's giving birth, I'm gonna
Then ask
say you're
something.
gonna handle it and I'm gonna lock the
Come through,
door.
bro.
The passion thing, I think
Yeah.
at school already, I just had that burning sensation to fly. Obviously, you don't really know what is it all about. You just see the cute flight attendants and the nice uniforms and the bags, and that you think it's flight attendants, and that's just not it. But being in the service industry is really nice. It's honestly really nice. You get to meet different people, you get to go to nice places and get paid for it. It's like you are chauffeured all the time.
what's the funds like?
Listen to Jay.
It's confidential.
Listen,
You said that with a smile on your face.
wait, listen. Jesse wants to ask a question.
I want to know, you work for SAA, right?
Apparently.
Apparently. Yeah. No, I just want to know, do you have like rules in terms of when you're speaking to the people on the plane, like
Passengers.
because the passengers, yeah,
Okay.
because can I explain my story to you?
Certainly.
Sure. So the one day, I flew to London. I went to Heathrow.
Yeah.
So I obviously, when you get on, you give your boarding pass. There's all your information on and everything. And this flight attendant takes my boarding pass, everything. He looks at it, and he keeps coming to me the whole time. It's a guy. That keeps
Maybe he liked you.
yo. He keeps coming to me the whole time, asking, "Are you fine? Whatnot. Say, yeah, no, I'm good. Everything." Asks, what you gonna do there? I explain, I'm playing football there. Whatnot. So we land. Maybe like a week later, I get a Facebook request from this guy. So, and I'm like, this guy had my boarding pass. So obviously he saw my name and surname and everything
Okay,
there.
there's a passenger list that has information. So you went to your passenger list. Your seat number is like your ID number.
Yo, can you do that though? Because it got to a point, Lorraine, where the guy messaged me every
Jesse.
day on one, and it's like,
Hey, Jesse.
yeah.
Hey,
It was
Jesse.
literally,
But
Hey.
Jesse,
Hi.
you didn't block him. Why?
hey, I did.
So how can he message you every day if you block him?
No,
Yeah.
see, at first I didn't know it's that type of thing because he explained it like this. Come, I show you the route he came across. He says, no, they come to Heathrow a lot and everything. And obviously you in a place where you want to be around South Africans also. And so he says they do stay in London for a while and things like that. So he came across like when we're in London, like we can hook up, we can go slut, maybe a meal, we can... Like, you know, like browser, like, because I didn't get that vibe at first. Yeah, like, that's going on in my head. It's like, okay, at least I have a brother that's also from
Yeah.
South Africa. When he comes here, we can blow, we can
No, it's
speak
not
like how we
allowed.
speak. So for me, it was just like,
No, it's not allowed. You
That's
can.
brother thinking other things.
because you know how when I blocked him,
Yeah.
it got to a point I posted something on my wall. And the thing I posted was like, it was a statement of something like, if you want to say something, be straight up and just say it.
Yeah.
Then this guy, he came, and then this is that day, that's the day I blocked him. Because then he's like, I see you say, be straight up, say something and whatnot. Jesse, I like you. I was like, you.
I'm out.
And I blocked and I'm
Yeah,
like,
you are unlikable.
Yeah,
Come on now.
Not like that.
No, it's definitely not allowed. You're not supposed to take
So
it
you
out.
can't.
It's extremely unprofessional.
Have y'all ever been in such a situation?
I'll tell
Tempted,
you.
Yes, with
like,
messages,
yo, that
guys.
homie or
No, I'll tell
that
you,
mommy.
this guy that I flew with the one day, we were doing a Frankfurt, and it's just one night there.
Oh.
So just 3 pilots. And then, like I said earlier, you discuss en route where the spot is to have supper, whatever, do you want to hang out, do you want to do stuff. And then this guy, he asked me, he asked both of us actually, because we speak as the crew, he asked the captain, do you feel like hanging out? I know this place. The captain said no, and I also just didn't feel like anything, because it's one night, you want to sleep, you just want to chill, So I said no, man. And then he was persistent, and I was like, you know what, really, no, I'm fine, thanks. And then I got this vibe now, like something's not right. But I didn't say anything. And then when I got back to Joburg 2 days later, I asked my other buddy, who's also flown with this guy, what do you think of so-and-so? Like, what vibe do you get? He's like, no, I think this guy probably kidnaps people and has a dungeon in his house, which is exactly what I
What you were
felt.
thinking?
But no, shame, there are a lot of other passengers, guys, that spoils the cabin crew. Like, and their intentions are pure. They literally just are thankful for the service that was rendered, and they literally invite the crew out, the whole team, to a dinner, all paid for.
Serious?
Yeah.
If you get those
So-
fancy passengers, have you ever? Well, is there different? Do you do like the cabin crew? Is there different people that does first class, business class, and
So
economy?
pre-flight briefings is where everybody is strategically placed, but it's different for all the airlines. Qatar, Singapore, they have their own ways of doing things. With SAA, you just come in there. The most senior normally will work in the business class section, and the juniors will work in economy class. That's how it works.
So, okay. So you obviously done a lot of first class, business class.
Before I was a senior, yes, I used to go to YC. Well, JC is business. You're a business. And then YC is economy class, so you will be both sides. It's not your permanent position. As a senior purser, I'm just a purser. The senior purser is the business class, dedicated for business class, and I'm in economy class all the time. Yeah.
But then do
On
you
a
get-
bigger jet. The
do you
smaller
get-
jet, I'm in control of
the whole cabin.
Yeah.
But then do you get different? Do you find that there's different personalities in the different classes? I guess?
Personalities with crew or passengers?
Personalities with passengers. Like, do you find like the business class person has a different vibe?
Yeah,
The
typically.
You know why it will come across like that? It's just that in economy class, there's so many of the people, and it's not because typically they're in economy class. Because sometimes the most richest person will be in economy class because they don't feel like spending so much money in business
In
class. But there are some type of characters
Like a
or
vibe,
vibes because it's more calm in business class. There's fewer people, so the air is enough for everybody. Economy class people have got hypoxia. They're struggling for oxygen. I'm kidding, but
it's rowdy out there.
it's a lot. And if you work in business class, when you come to economy class, it looks like a war zone.
It does, yeah. When you walk through, you're like, yo, there's just a lot of people here. Have you ever flown a celebrity?
Lots of times,
Yeah.
many times. And SAA actually has a lot of international celebrities coming through. But I guess it's also maybe marketing, whereby when you come to a certain place, you need to get onto their national carrier.
But do they say like sometimes I've heard the captain saying like, ladies and gentlemen, today we have so and so flying. That doesn't happen in real life. It happens on movies.
Yeah.
Well, it depends. Like if maybe I like that celebrity and Oral and them are nice enough that they're feeling lekker. If you ask the captain or the pilot to do it for you, they
Then you-
can if they want
Have you
to.
had any
They
of
don't
that?
have to.
Like, ladies and gentlemen, today we have
No.
Shakira flying with us.
But what we do
No.
mostly on my flights, if I was on your flight, I would make an announcement that we have Xavier and Uncle Hendricks on board. It's their honeymoon or anniversary, mostly anniversaries and birthdays. We do a shout out.
That's dope.
That's
though.
like a,
Yeah,
That
we do
is
that
dope.
in the cabin.
That is dope. Guys, I had a lady and gentlemen. I had a dope conversation about this, and I feel like there's so much more
There's so much more.
that we can
There's
really
a
talk
whole
about.
lot more, yeah.
There's a bunch we can talk about, but maybe we should do it again
Yeah.
and have this convo with Guide. But for now, that's our time. And thank you so much for joining us today. I had a dope time. Really, I did.
Yeah, thank you.
I had
Thanks
a
for
good
having us.
convo. Jay, on your side?
Nah, big blessings.
You were quite quiet today.
Big blessings. Now, y'all had just so much beautiful information. I just had to sit back and take it all in.
Nah, because a lot of times, and I told Oral this, well, I have the joy of knowing him personally and knowing Lorraine, so I can call him and say, what does this do? Or how does this work? Whatever. And so for me, that's cool. I'm always interested in understanding the other side of things. I'll sit there and I wonder what they're doing now. Wonder how this
You like
fuel
Trevor
thing.
Noah?
Yeah, how's this fuel working now? How much fuel do they need? What do they do? You know. But I know I've been watching a lot of videos where they explain literally like that flight check thing that you guys do, where everything must be to the T, which you expect because it's people's lives. It's my life. I would want you to do. It's like I would want you to get everything right because I'm sitting here. I don't want you to crash this thing. So I guess that's obviously a massive part of the process, and of course, even like you said, cabin crew. And I felt this vibe from Lorraine that's like, yo, don't underestimate what we do, because I think a lot of people have this attitude of like,
You'll be surprised how many cabin crew actually hold degrees and doctorates and things in psychology and HR, whatever, man.
Life coaching.
Business, life coaching, musicians, the guys. That's just one part of them that you see.
That's dope. Hi guys, thank you so much for joining us today. If you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please do so. Hit the subscribe button, also hit the bell, notification bell. What that does is it will give you a heads up every time we go live. And of course, Jay and I are live every Monday morning at 9 a.m. It's called The Morning Shake with myself and Jay Paris. So yeah, please hit that bell, hit the subscribe button, and be sure to catch every show every Monday morning. We do shows in fact, Sunday morning we start at 8, and then throughout the week, 9 a.m. in the morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank my guest for coming through today. It's been a dope show. And see you on the next one. Love you. Bye-bye. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to it.
Good morning to the folks. What up to the youngins, and bless up to the world.
And then Jay just puts your info on blast like that.
It's what the people want to know, bro. My bad.
Nah, bro.